kali ini. Oh, ini dia 3 lawan 3 Profesor Tom Haye.
Welcome back at the Haye Way, your weekly favorite podcast. And today, I'm going to warn you, it's going to be something new, something very chaotic. We're going to do something very special. But you know, Tom is not here. Tom is preparing for the game against China, against Japan. So I have a lot of new friends. And you know what Tom always says? Like, subscribe, share this episode with your friends, family, neighbors. Share with everyone. Share the word. But I already said, it's going to be something special. Because we're doing not former players from Timnas. No star players of Timnas. No fiancés of players. No, today we're introducing the finest musicians of Indonesia and the Ultras Garuda. And they're all going to be here. We have only space for 4 microphones. So we're starting off with someone we saw before on our first trip. Ronnie, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah. Okay. Salam satu bangsa, Indonesia. Hi guys, my name is Ronnie Udara. You can call me Ronnie.
Yeah.
And I'm the vocalist from the format band and the musician in collaboration with Ultras Garuda.
Okay, thank you. Then next to me, Capo, introduce yourself.
Siapa nama? Perkenalkan, nama saya Yogi dari Ultras Garuda.
Okay.
Salam satu bangsa.
Indonesia.
And then on my left,
My name is Dochi Sadega. I'm with the Ultras and the musician also.
you're the glue connecting
The
everyone.
glue connecting.
Yeah, right.
Well, actually, it's Ronnie.
Ronnie,
Yeah, me too.
Ronnie, you're the glue. So I'll start with the glue. And for the people thinking, hey, are there not more members? Yes.
Yes.
They will become later. So stay tuned. Everyone who you know from the Ultras Garudas and from the song, they will be here on the table. But we're starting with these 3 people. So you're the glue.
Yeah.
Tell us, it's something very special. What happened? I think a month ago. You launched the song a month ago.
Yeah.
4 weeks ago.
4 weeks. Yeah. 2 months.
2 months already.
I think it's 1 or 2 weeks before the Bahrain.
Yeah, 2 weeks before the Bahrain and before the Australia and Bahrain.
Yeah.
So
One song, the Australia.
a song with the Ultra Garudas and the finest musicians from Indonesia. How did that come together?
Yeah. Okay, thank you. And the first, I meet with Ultras Garuda as based on community with the Ultras Garuda. I'm joining with Ultras, so we have the discuss with the Ultras. Maybe we can do something can to support the team national Indonesia. What I see, the player the timnas, their support and the fight to national team with their skill in the football. But we as a musician and the Ultras Garuda too, maybe one of the we can to support the Indonesian national team with the song and the work. Yeah. So we fight together to release the song to support the Indonesian national team and the player to glory together.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think so.
And actually, the song is like it's for 10 years of Ultras.
Yeah.
it's
It is one moment. Yeah.
So it's a gift to Ultras and it's a gift to
The
Indonesia.
Ultras to
Indonesia,
Indonesia. Yeah, so we should probably start. How did the Ultras start 10 years ago?
Yeah. So gimana 10 tahun lalu Ultras ngumpulinnya gimana?
So it's a little bit closer. Sorry.
Kita paling berdasarkan dari kecintaan kita sama timnas Indonesia, dari berbagai suku daerah. Jadi semua klub di Indonesia itu kita jadiin satu, jadiin wadah untuk mendukung timnas Indonesia.
So it all started with the love for the Indonesia, and it comes from different
Culture.
a different team,
And the team,
but
club.
they all support the national team.
And then it started 10 years ago with Ultras Garuda. And fast forward, what were the highlights of 10 years of Ultras Garuda?
Yang paling mantap dari 10 tahun itu apa highlightnya?
Kita sering bikin koreo besar sih.
They make big choreos before the match.
Which
So
one
with
was the most beautiful one?
I think last time in Bahrain, the match versus Bahrain is magnificent. Like, with the fireworks and everything.
Yeah.
It's like a war, but it's so peaceful at the same time.
That's it. Yeah.
And the spirit is like make goosebumps.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a funny thing. We had a guest on this show, Sam van Raalte. He's a Dutch journalist, and he's traveling all over Indonesia right now to write a book about Indonesian football culture. He joined the Corteo against Bahrain. He said, and he has traveled all over the world. And he said, I've never experienced something like this.
Yeah, it's wild. It's pretty wild.
You know what happened with him? He went back to Holland. He went on holiday with his girlfriend, and he started coughing. And he thought,
the residue from the...
he thought he was that was blood coming out of his lungs.
Oh, really?
No, it was everything from the Corteo. He was in his lungs. It had to come out a week later. He said it was so intense, and he said I was only looking around. But he said, Neil, if you ever have the chance to join the Corteo of the Ultras Garuda, it's once in a lifetime.
Yeah, maybe you will to join with the Ultras Garuda Corteo and versus China and tomorrow.
But,
experience.
So once you start like with the Ultras Garuda, it's 10 years ago.
Yeah,
you start with a small group with supporters, but now it's not. How would you say? It's more a movement. It's not only in the stadium. It's on social media, and now even with the song, it's more than a group.
And we have the special spot in
the GBK.
GBK, it's the south.
So.
How did that?
Gimana awalnya bisa dapat selatan?
Kita sebelumnya punya saudara dari Tribun Utara, namanya La Grande Indonesia. Nah, selatan masih kosong. Kita tempatin dan Ultras Garuda berdiri di selatan, Tribun Selatan dari Marwah itu.
So the first La Grande is the
north,
and then we fill the south so we can back to back chanting.
But do you then have to explain to me? Do you have to work together with the PSSI, with the GBK? How does it work that you can be the whole south stand?
I think the numbers answers because we gimana ya bisa dapat selatan tuh awalnya gimana? Kok bisa lu yang nempatin selatan kerja sama PSSI?
Enggak, kebetulan Tribun Selatan ya sewaktu itu masih kosong, masih diisi sama penonton umum. Dan ya kita Ultras punya kultur di lengkungan, di kurva itu sendiri. Nah sedangkan kurva kan cuman ada dua, antara utara dan selatan. Dan yang di utara udah ada La Grande, kita mau nggak mau di selatan. Dan selatan udah jadi marwah dari Sud Tribun itu.
So the culture they occupy the curve side. But the north side is La Grande side, and the south is before it was empty, just like regular.
Oh wow!
So when the Ultras started, they beginning to fill up the
they were happy
part.
that there are people in the stadium.
I think I will see to the many club in Indonesia with the supporter Ultras is mostly in the south, the Tribune.
Really?
Yeah.
So talking about club football in Indonesia, I've seen some footage of derbies. It gets really intense between rivalry, Persija, Persib. But when timnas plays, everyone gets together.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, but how does that work?
We when we're using when we how do you say it? Sebagai La Grande or sebagai Ultras.
Berbeda dengan klub tadi ya maksudnya. Ketika when I was it is my inspiration we song because when we to the support the Indonesian national team the different culture, different club, but we have the one mission, we have the one the vision is the Indonesian national team. So we forget when we can
set aside the
the club.
When we in the GBK is one nation is Indonesia.
One dream, one mission, what Jay Itze said. Talking about that, like when you started supporting all timnas, you would never dream about qualifying for the World Cup.
Yes.
And now, what's going on? It's a chance to qualify for the World Cup. it's going so fast right now, right?
It's going so fast, yeah.
Yeah. But how? And try to explain to me, how was it supporting timnas say 5 years ago, and timnas now? What's the biggest difference?
I think the structure itself, the organization,
Yeah.
and the coach, really contributes to the now.
Progress now, yeah.
Yeah, we have like so many talented. What do you say?
Display player, yeah, like this.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
we have so much. Ya,
a
bukan
good
ada banyak kayak Tom segala macam.
Oh yeah. It's a good progress from the timnas now and the last because it's good the movement from the PSSI recruit the diaspora player with the to join the timnas and collaborate with the player in the Indonesia to join to once just sharing to knowledge with Patrick Clifford with the like the Tom with the local player like the Marcelino, so good collaboration with the one mission to for the fight together. Yeah.
So there was I read when Mr. Tohir started with this vision with players who are born in different country but have Indonesian blood.
Yeah.
He asked them, "Do you want to join?" There was also a lot of criticism.
Yes.
How was that for the Ultras? Were they always behind this project or in the beginning?
We are 100% behind everything that the timnas is.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What,
100%.
so what do you think about that people are critical about it?
Dari lo sendiri, lo mengkritik nggak orang-orang yang nggak setuju sama banyak banget naturalisasi dan lain-lain tuh?
Sebenarnya gini ya, kalau misalkan dari kita kalau dulu mungkin ada kata naturalisasi, cuman kalau untuk sekarang kan yang dicari emang yang punya darah dari Indonesia, dari gen Indonesia. Jadi keturunan itu. Tapi untuk itu dari kita sih harusnya nggak bisa mengkritik kecuali emang benar-benar naturalisasi yang bukan dari darah Indonesia.
Yeah, makes sense. So because the reason is the blood, the Indonesia blood.
I
So,
couldn't agree more. Yeah, because I always say to people, and they say, of course, they use the word diaspora, but I said, everyone on the field. I think the best example is, if you watch a game of timnas, when they enter the field and they perform the national anthem, they're all together.
Yep.
They're all singing from their lungs. They're shouting like the Italians. They're so proud to wear the jersey. So you just see 11 players or the substitutes. They're giving everything for the jersey and for the country, and it doesn't matter where you're born. It's not your choice where you're born.
Yes.
It's your choice if you want to represent Indonesia. I think, and fight for the jersey and fight for the country. Right? I think so. I'm happy to hear what you said about it. So let's get into the song, because the Ultras Garuda 10 years ago, you guys famous in Indonesia for music, and then suddenly you decide to write a song. Who came up with the idea?
It's Ronnie.
Yeah, you woke up one morning, you thought, hey, let's do a song.
Yeah. Okay, we discussed with the Ultras Garuda. With the Ultras Garuda, I've discussed with Ultras Garuda. Guys, this momentum is 10-year Ultras Garuda, and then timnas in the fight to qualify FIFA World Cup. How we create something to support the Indonesian national team. Okay, basically, I'm the musician, Doce, Iqmal, Putri the musician, and then Ultras Garuda, and always sing a song in the stadium. Okay, maybe make sense. We can release the song to support the timnas. Okay, so how about the theme? The theme is the glory and the working together, and the winning and the stronger together.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a great, it's unbelievable. And maybe it's good that we get the musicians on the table now, and we talk a little bit music, and then we end again against with the capo, and then we we make a change. So who wants to be on that table?
There's Iqmal.
Putri,
Putri.
yeah, okay.
Gantian ya.
And this is also the Haye Way. You clap twice in your hand, and look at here.
Salam satu bangsa, Indonesia.
all together now on this table. We already saw you two. So the two new people on the table, introduce yourself.
I'm Iqmal Tobing, a drummer of Ultras Garuda.
I am Putrana. I'm the guitarist of Ultras Garuda.
Yeah. And Rono, you already. You already. People know you.
It's okay.
Don't you know, Tim?
No, it was all so Putri, a little bit closer to the microphone.
Right.
Let's get together a little bit. So, being the only woman in this group,
Yes.
how special was this for you? Because normally in Europe they say the ultras, that's men, they're shouting songs, and suddenly there's a woman in the group.
Yeah, I'm so lucky being the guitarist of Ultras Garuda.
Yeah.
So thank you for Ultras Garuda for give me this. And I don't know, maybe this is the luckiest things in my life.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why?
She was so excited to saw the match and then
Yeah.
Very excited.
experience the corteo and
Yeah.
everything.
Was it when was your first time when you went to a game of timnas?
Honestly, Bahrain.
Bahrain?
Yeah.
Oh, it was mine first too. Yeah.
Okay, so wow.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Crazy moment.
Yes.
Yeah, but like I have sorry, I have to tell you something, and I'm always saying to people from Indonesia, you don't understand how special the atmosphere is in GBK. Because people always think, hey, Europe, it's a better atmosphere. No. GBK. I was sitting here with Sam, who's been, I think, to 300 stadiums. I've been to 200 stadiums. And he said to me, GBK #1 atmosphere. Wow. Yeah, but you Indonesian people don't understand it. It's so special. GBK is special. The atmosphere against Bahrain, it was for Sam and myself, it was my first time. Crazy. From the first minute until the last minute, and then the song after the game, with everyone in the middle, standing in the middle, everyone singing. And what I personally think is fantastic, it's men, it's women, and it's kids.
Yep.
It's the whole family going to the stadium and enjoying it. So I think it's for you guys. It's you can be very, very proud about the atmosphere.
Of course.
And now you guys made a song to make it even more special.
Yeah.
So when Ronnie told already, he woke up, he wanted to do something, 10 years Ultras Garuda. And then you guys come together for the first time to perform the song. How did it go? The first time getting together with the band?
When? The first time.
Yeah. Do you still remember the first time you guys?
I think how many days before the Bahrain?
2-3 weeks.
And so you decided
Yeah.
to come together.
Maybe 2 weeks before
Before
match Bahrain, I think.
Yeah, and like you guys have talent for music, eh?
Yeah.
You have
Ronnie already made the demo for the 2 songs, and then Iqmal asked me to fill the bass.
Yeah.
Because, I have a band, Pee Wee Gaskins.
Yeah.
My band made song for Indonesia. It's called Dari Sang Garuda. It's from 2009. So maybe because of my background, Ronnie asked me, want to do another song?
Yeah.
And then Iqmal and I friends from forever.
Oh, really? Oh, cool. Yeah.
And so this.
So you asked him,
I said,
and you, Ronnie, you asked.
Ronnie asked Iqmal. Iqmal asked me.
Yeah.
Iqmal ex Putri.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's so good. It's like this. Everyone.
Yes.
Okay. And
it's like agency.
He's like a broker.
yeah, he thinks okay. Yeah. But like what I said, you guys have talent for music. It's you hear things different. So you are jamming together, doing the song for the first time, probably in the studio, or where were you together?
Yes.
The studio. And then you listen to the song, and then you think, hey, this is something special.
Yeah.
Was it directly the first time you thought this is something special?
Yeah. When I first time listen Ronnie's song, I told him, this is very catchy. Okay, let's do this. And I bring Dochi and Putri. Let's record the. Actually, we have 2 songs, right?
Yeah.
2 songs.
Yeah.
And then we make 2 songs together.
Unbelievable. And the thing is, you said catchy.
Yeah.
That's the first reaction Tom Haye gave. He was listening to the song. It's so catchy.
It's catchy.
No, but it sticks to you, in your head. And the thing is, when I think about musicians, they always sing about life, about broken heart, being in love. So how is it now singing a song about the national team?
Yes.
It's different, right? Or not?
Yeah.
How is that for you guys?
So I'm so lucky again.
Yeah?
I don't know. This is the first time, and I think so many people want to be here.
Yeah?
Wants to be the part of Ultras Garuda.
Mhm.
It's so difficult to be part of Ultras Garuda and being the musician of Ultras Garuda.
And Ultras has been very welcoming to us. So
Very, very welcome to us.
But that's also something new, I think, that Ultras, they open up their doors and say, let's work together, right? You don't hear that a lot.
Yes.
That you have musicians and Ultras making a song together.
Collaborate together.
Yeah.
Right?
And
first time I thought it's inclusive, but when I get to know to the people in Ultras, they're so welcome.
Yeah, open.
Welcoming,
Yeah. And then you see the reactions of players of Timnas.
Yeah.
And how is
I
that
saw
for you
that.
guys?
Wow, it's very, very
I
thankful.
Thank you.
It's an honor. Wow.
So the song is a love song actually. Our love to the
Oh, so it's a love story. Yeah, but I think that's something like, it's something special that it's so well received, not only by the players, but I also think by the fans.
Yeah.
It's difficult to make a song that's received by Ultras, by the other fans, by players, by former players. I showed it to Sergio van Dijk, former player of Timnas, Persib, and he said, he's a legend, and he said, hey, the only thing is that it's too late. I said, why? I said, I played 10 years ago for Timnas.
Long overdue.
Hey, I needed a song when I was playing. Now it's now,
Let's make the song
For Sergio. You would love that,
soon.
So, have you already performed the song for an audience? Or only in
Tomorrow
studio?
will be the first time.
First time?
First time.
And where
Yeah.
are you doing it?
Oh, in the front the Garuda store.
Yeah,
Yeah, in
tomorrow.
front of Garuda store
Yeah.
before the match.
Before the
Before
match.
the match.
Wow.
6 p.m. or 7
Yeah.
p.m.
Yeah.
6.
Yeah.
6 p.m.
And how special is that for you guys?
Pretty nervous.
Are you nervous?
Yeah.
Really?
Heart beating.
Why are you nervous?
We're gonna play in front of Ultras and
Many people.
And the
there.
many people to support the Indonesian national team. It's a GBK, the atmosphere.
and we haven't
Feel
practiced.
the atmosphere,
Yeah.
right?
We haven't practiced.
We
So
haven't practiced.
You have not practiced.
The last time I do the music is when the recording.
Yeah.
We haven't practiced.
Maybe tomorrow at Check Sound.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can do one.
Have to do that.
Or maybe we make a karaoke set.
You can play back and
Maybe you can join there.
if you need playback, I can do. I can play back. I cannot sing. I know what I can, but I cannot sing. I sing a lot, but I cannot sing. I have a terrible voice. So
But you can do chance.
yeah.
Oh.
I can do it. In the background. Yeah. So I was just wondering because you have a lot of football shows, football podcasts, and I think we're the only ones in English now in Indonesia. How do you look as musicians, as ultras? How do you look at the Haye Way?
Yeah. I think it's one of the good platform from the inspire, from the young some young player. Oh, okay guys, thank you.
It's like a press conference.
Like a press con. yeah. I think it is good movement, and I think one of the good platform to inspire the other people to like the football, and some people to like the idol in the football, like Tom Haye, like them, like Jay says, they can see to.
It gives people perspective. I think, from the player also, and from the fans, from everyone involved.
Yeah.
For the love of football.
Yeah.
Unity of football.
Yeah. And I think also, and I was really impressed with Capo. I forgot his name. I'll just call him Yogi. I was really impressed with Yogi said, that it doesn't matter, where you're from. You have Indonesian blood.
Yes.
We will support you.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm a little bit sad if I read Indonesian media or other football outlets. They're so negative, about when they lose or they not perform. Because I think everyone who plays gives everything. And sometimes you win in life, sometimes you lose. But it's important to stick together, to stay together. And I think you guys with the music, it's also an inspiration. For a generation, to listen to the song, sing the song, and stick together. So I want to thank you for the song. No, really.
My pleasure.
No, but we try to talk.
For being thankful for the song.
No. But what I want to say, we try to talk with Jay, with Kevin, with Lupi, with everyone.
Okay.
But what we try to inspire a new generation. So of course, I hope that timnas will qualify for World Cup. But what I hope more, that the future is bright for Indonesian football, that you get new stars, new talent, new coaches, new people in management, all, inspired by this generation. And that's people on the pitch, but also people like you who decide, hey, let's do a song. Let the Ultras, hey, let's stick together, make a song together to unite Indonesia.
Let's support each other.
Yeah, and then the future is only bright,
Yes.
Yeah.
We just focus for Indonesian national team.
Yeah.
Just focus for that.
So maybe we should get
Yogi.
Yogi. We get him also here, and then we finish off the podcast.
Yeah.
Do we have one more chair?
Yeah. And then you play paddle.
Yeah. You want to play?
Yeah, come on, together.
Let's go.
Let's play. You go. Where can he sit?
Maybe because before we close the podcast, we get this.
You want to play? You want to play the song?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. You can sit down. Yeah, together on the chair. Because now we're finishing. We're looking at the director. He said, "Oh, yeah, we only 4 microphones."
Yeah, okay.
But we have everyone now, right? So I want to thank you because opening the doors for the musicians and creating this, I think it's something I have never heard before in the world. So it's really inspiring and it helps to unite Indonesia. So terima kasih.
Sama-sama. My pleasure.
And then to you guys making the song, it's a catchy song. I cannot get it out of my head. So.
Thank you so much.
Okay, say this. Timnas qualifies for the World Cup next year.
Yeah, I hope. I mean,
Maybe a new song next year?
yeah,
of
course. I will always create a new song. And
Okay.
support the new song.
Okay, and then if you have a new song, I will promise one thing.
Oh, okay.
We will do a new podcast and a microphone for everyone.
Yay!
So before, I already want to say thank you all for coming here. For the people watching this, this is the Airbnb of our director Karil, of our head of production Kenneth, and we just built this studio in the living room. It's very tiny, very cozy. I hope you really enjoyed it. It was a big honor for me to have these guests, not football players, not former Timnas legends, not Mr. Tohir, but musicians, the capo of Ultras Garuda. It was such a special episode. I really enjoyed it. And before I say goodbye, I think you're going to perform the song?
Yeah, demi kejayaan.
Okay,
Indonesia.
so we go out with the song. And terima kasih, and I'll see you next week.
Tak peduli badanku berkeringat, berteriak penuh semangat. Di dalam stadion kita bersaudara, salam kami Ultras Garuda. Tak lelah kami bersuara, demi Garudaku tercinta. Tak lelah menunggumu berlaga, demi kejayaan
Indonesia. much for watching. We'll be back next week.
Bye.